my gosh, that was so cute.
Yeah, it's a good thing our audio was off because it just would have been us going, oh my God, look at that.
Lorraine's sitting here all the time, aw, aw, like every 5 seconds.
Oh, we should mention, we're here with Frank Tieri.
It wouldn't be a Comic-Con live stream without
true.
Frank Thierry.
This is very true.
We appreciate you, and we thank you, Frank, for always showing up.
You should thank me because I'm a very big star now, and people don't deserve having me on here.
Well, you
to
have
be
your
quite
own
frankly.
Marvel series now.
Yes, that's right.
Cosplay in a
And
cap.
I'm an internet sensation now. I'm like the next Grumpy Cat.
For people who haven't seen Marvel's Cosplay in a Cap, what do you do in that beautiful series of promos for this very show?
Well, Marvel.com's Judy and Jason approached me to. They needed a New York a-hole, for lack of better terms, and somehow I fit the bill for some reason. I don't know why, and I know it was a stretch for me, but shows my acting ability.
It was great.
It was really great.
So each of the promo videos, which you haven't seen, they're probably on YouTube and all of our places where we put our videos. My producers are like, yep, you're right. Places where we put videos. They're there. You should totally watch them because Frank is fantastic.
I'm brilliant.
He is great.
Yeah.
We were like sharing them around the office before they were finished because we were really enjoying them. It's Frank talking to various cosplayers in their costumes as they go to New York Comic Con. Those videos are what, like 30 seconds a piece or so?
Something like that, yeah.
How much shooting did you do with each of those cosplayers? Like, how many jokes and riffs did you do?
I was in the cab with each one of them separately, and then we just kept riffing on stuff. Some of the better stuff is probably left on the the cutting room floor because of language. You know what I mean?
Some of the
some
blue
language
material.
issues.
I saw some of that.
Yes, yes. We should make a DVD one day with some of the.
The bloopers and
Yeah.
extras.
I'm just gonna say one phrase: Galactus-sized dump. That didn't make the cut, which I was surprised that didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Galactus-sized dump. Yeah, I mean, why? Why not? Jason, why didn't that make the cut?
Standards and practices.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I know, really.
Producer's note, sorry.
That's a bad job, man.
Our producer's
Bad
off,
job, man.
off screen saying, producer's note.
Yeah. But not only is Frank a star and an internet sensation,
That's
a
true.
cab driver extraordinaire, he's also a writer of many things, comic books, and also video games.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just had the release of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yes.
Huge game, really great. Love it with all the stuff that we've been doing with Capcom. Frank has been involved in the games since 3. Frank, what was your involvement in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and 3.5. I was the writer behind the game, so I had a history with the franchise. So when they had Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they approached me to be involved in the game. I worked on a lot of the concepts of the game, behind the game, and then we handed it off to other writers. But especially the concepts of the whole merged universe that they have there. So, look, I love that franchise. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. The merged universe thing is super cool, especially as we see it
yeah.
come to fruition now.
And there were things like X-Guard and Umbrella, that we came up with that were really, the little things that Marvel fans and Capcom fans will have fun with.
Yeah, I love if you play the story part of Infinite, Umbrella, you have MODOK there, and he's the head of Umbrella,
Sure.
and then you've got Nemesis and all this other stuff, and gnarly
I'm just
experiments.
still laughing that you said MODOK's the head because he's just the head.
He's just a head.
Well, and a couple and a couple of little limbs.
Yeah. Frank, are you a gamer at all? Do you
I
actually
do.
get to
I play games. I have less time now because work and stuff like that. But yeah, I do play games.
What are your favorites? Even like classic stuff.
Oh, dude, I like silly stuff like Mario Brothers too. You know what I mean? I like stuff Ratchet and Clank. I mean, but I like Marvel, but Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil. Me and my buddies played that forever. The original Marvel superheroes fighting game.
Yes.
Oh, man. And then the sports games, Sega hockey. You know what I mean? Oh man, fights in my house with over that, Jesus. People stop talking to each other over those games.
Over those
Yes,
games?
Yes.
Have you ever broken a controller?
Oh, I've broken TVs. Are you kidding me? I've set people's houses on fire over video games. Are you kidding me? People are dead because of video games. I'll tell you.
Yeah, video games is serious
Yeah.
business.
No. It's no joke. Yeah.
Yeah. Frank, have you ever done cosplay?
No, come on, man. No,
You
that's
wouldn't
not.
do a thing?
Look, if you pay, look, listen to me. If I get paid, there's a price for everything. But and depends what's involved also. But yeah.
Maybe we can pay you to be like, I'm thinking like a Ms. Marvel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna need a lot of money, and Marvel, I don't think is gonna be shelling that money out.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But I
For me to play Miss Marvel, yeah.
We could do it like a GoFundMe or something.
yeah,
a
just a
Kickstarter.
personal project,
Yeah.
a pet project.
Yeah.
$100,000. I dress as Miss Marvel right now. All right. Let's make it happen. $100,000. I'll dress as Miss Marvel. Okay.
All right. You guys started.
You got it. Start the GoFundMe. $100,000.
So you worked a lot on not just video games, but in comics. How do you think that it sort of transfers, how you transfer your knowledge of working on comics to working on a video game?
It's I've also done animation too. It's just different muscles. It's different muscles. It's different processes. Even when you work on those big crossover events, like I'm working on one for another company right now. I won't name it, but there's a lot going on, and it's each thing is you approach differently. I think it's different muscles, and it's fun to play with different mediums.
What are some of the animation things you worked on?
I worked on Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yep.
I did the Doc Octopus origin story. Yeah.
So when you do something like that, when you're taking an origin story for a character, very like long-standing famous character, and you're bringing it to a new medium, how much is it saying like, oh, this is the story I want to tell versus this is a story that we want to put together from the animation side?
Well, the way it worked with when I worked on the thing was they had certain things that they wanted in there. Okay, so you have to put this in there. You can put your spin on things, but there's a certain we need this in there, this in there, this in there. So you have to abide by that and work around that.
Yeah.
It's part of a process. And once you understand the process, make it work.
Do you have an affinity for Doc Ock over other Spider-Man villains?
I like Doc Ock. I like, I always like this. I'm I guess a street level guy. You want to say? So I like Sandman. I like some of the Rhino. Some of the street level, characters. I always liked Absorbing Man.
Absorbing Man is so good.
Yeah,
He's
the
so
Wrecker.
cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. Wait, speaking of characters, we know that you obviously know the Marvel Universe very well. When you went into working for Capcom, they have a whole universe of their own characters. Were you familiar with them from playing games?
When I was familiar with a number of them, but luckily they sent me, and this is the great thing about working on video games. They sent you like the characters I wasn't familiar with. They sent me the games, so I could be there playing the games. And then my wife would be like, "Oh, you got to be working," and I'm like, "Honey, I am working. This is work."
That's the trick. Get a job in video games and then
Yes.
say, I've never played any of them. I'm unfamiliar with
I don't
all
know.
the
Oh,
games.
dude, what's video game? What? And then they send you video games and you play them. So,
Do you have a favorite Capcom character to play as?
I like the Street Fighter characters and I like the Resident Evil characters because those are the characters that I grew up with playing. So, I like, Nemesis has always been a favorite of mine.
Nemesis is so cool. The
Yeah.
design is so good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember when you're playing the game, he comes out like, an insane person. So.
Yeah. I have read the last Resident Evil game. Like, Capcom gave it to me. I don't know that I can play it. It's just like so
Well,
intense.
even like the first game, like me and my friends, like nobody would leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and we wouldn't. If you played it at night, like hey, you can't go to your house. You know what I mean? You got to stay here you have to play the game because I don't want to play this by myself.
Where can fans find you before the con is over? Or online?
Online, this is the last thing. We're breaking tradition because I'm supposed to be the last guest. So
know.
something bad might happen. I'm not. But you can find me. I'm on the Twitter and I'm on the Facebook. Frank Tieri, blah blah blah.
There you have it.
all the Frank Tieri.
All
you
the
can
All the
do.
Frank Tieri, yes.
And